Hello everyone, I'm Isan. In this video, we'll be looking at the new features in the latest One UI 5.1 version that we just got on the S22 Ultra series. After updating to the latest One UI 5.1 version, it's a good idea to update all the system apps available on the Galaxy Store. Here, you can also update the Galaxy Store to make sure that all the One UI 5.1 features can run optimally on your Samsung smartphone. Once you've updated the Galaxy Store app to the latest version, you just need to reopen the app and update all the system apps available in the Galaxy Store. Then you only need to update all system applications that appear here that you have not updated to the latest version. After updating all system applications in the Galaxy Store to the latest version, now let's take a look at the new features in One UI 5.1 update. The first new feature in One UI 5.1 is in the camera application in selfie mode. In the latest version, when you open the front camera and click the effect button on the top right, you will find the color tone option that is integrated directly into the front camera display. So now you can easily change the color tone directly from the front camera without having to go to the camera settings. For the options, it is still the same as in the previous version. It comes with only two options, natural and bright. The second new feature is still in the camera application, which is the export RAW feature. It is directly integrated into the default camera menu. Now you can directly find the export RAW feature when you select the more option in the default camera. Here now the access has been made easier and directly integrated into the default camera in the latest One UI 5.1 version. For the settings, they look the same as in the previous version. There is the multiple exposure feature, then there is also the astrophoto feature directly in this export RAW application. Next, the third new feature is in the gallery application. In this latest update, when you search for images in the gallery application, you can now search for images based on several search criteria at once. You can even select several faces at once to search for images. And the search result will immediately present a group photo that comes with a photo according to the face you are looking for. The next new feature is the GIF Remaster and an improvement in the remaster picture, which was also already available previously. In this latest version, the remaster picture has been improved to provide even better result. And the new feature here is GIF Remaster. It is almost the same as Picture Remaster but for GIF images. This GIF Remaster feature was just introduced at the launch of the S22 Ultra. And now in the S22 Ultra series, after getting the latest One UI 5.1 update, you can also directly utilize this new GIF Remaster feature. Here, when we try the latest GIF Remaster feature in the S22 Ultra series, for a GIF image that looks a bit blurry and lacking in detail, the quality can be slightly improved compared to the previous version. However, for the result, it depends on the GIF image that you have, because there are also GIF images that don't show much change after we try using this GIF Remaster feature. Next, for the fifth feature, it is Shared Family Album feature directly in the default gallery application. After adding the shared album in the latest version of Gallery on One UI 5.1, there is a new option to share albums with the share link feature. With the latest share link feature, now you can easily share the album link directly with anyone you want. And anyone who has the link can easily access the album link as long as they use a Samsung smartphone. Then the next new feature is still in the gallery application. Now when you are viewing a photo or video in the gallery and you swipe up to see information about the photo or video, in this new display you can now see data about when and where the photo or video was taken with just one swipe. You can also see what device was used to take the photo or video. And other data about the photo or video can also be easily checked in this latest update. Then the next new feature, the seventh feature, is when you open split screen view. Here, the most frequently used application on your smartphone will appear in the recent app section on the second row. Here, there will be a new menu called Most Used App where the most frequently used application on your smartphone will appear. Then the next new feature is in the Samsung Deck display when you connect your smartphone to a monitor display. When you open two applications at once and make their display side by side with split screen view, now you can easily drag the middle part to change the application display on the left and the application display on the right. Both applications will adjust their display according to the size you choose. The next new feature is also in the Samsung Deck section. Now in the latest Samsung DeX display, you can also directly open the application view in 4 application window displays simultaneously in each corner of the screen very quickly. You only need to drag the open window to each corner of the screen to open the application view in this 4 window display. Each application that you drag to each corner will immediately open in a small size according to the display of these 4 windows. Then the next new feature is in the modes and routines setting. In the mode setting, in the modes and routines option, now you can directly synchronize the mode with the wallpaper that appears on your smartphone. This feature is certainly familiar to those of you who have ever used or seen the iOS 16 display before. We have previously compared the iOS 16 and One UI 5 features. For those of you who haven't seen the comparison between iOS 16 and One UI 5 and what are the similarities in both OS, you can check the previous video link in the top right corner of this video. One of the iOS 16 features that is not available in One UI 5.0 is the feature of automatically changing the wallpaper based on the active mode. Now in the latest version of One UI 5.1, this feature has been added in modes and routines. And this certainly adds similarity between One UI 5 feature with iOS 16. Because now in version One UI 5.1, you can directly change the mode, and then the wallpaper will also change with the mode. And this new feature not only can change the wallpaper display on the home screen and lock screen of the smartphone, it can even change watch faces display on the Samsung Galaxy Watch that you are using. Then the next new feature is still in the modes and routine section. In the routine section, when you add a new action, you can now find several new additional actions in One UI 5.1 version. In this latest update, in addition to the additional feature settings for quick share, there are also settings for touch sensitivity, changing ringtone, and also changing the font style. Then next we move to the weather application. For the next new feature in the weather application in One UI 5.1 version, there are now some slightly changed display at the top. Now there will be a summary for today's weather. And for the color of the graphs display in the top table, it will directly adjust the color according to the temperature display. If the temperature is hotter, the line will change the color to orange or yellow. Then the next new thing besides in the weather application is also found in the weather widget that we add to the home screen. When you add the weather widget to the home screen with dynamic display, now for the weather summary, it will also immediately appear on the widget on the home screen. For example, here the weather summary is like a rain shower. The words like a rain shower will also immediately show on the widget on the home screen. Then the next new feature, the 14th feature, is an improved search feature when you search for the name of an application that is on your smartphone. For the search feature, it is now more advanced and improved from the previous version. In the previous version, when you type a word that was misspelled for the application or file name, the application will not appear in the search result. But in this latest version, when you search for files or application with slightly misspelled spelling, the search results are now better and can predict your typing even if you make a small typo. Then next, there is also a new widget that you can directly use in the latest version. It can display the battery percentage for each Samsung device you use. For the display of the battery status widget, there are 2 different displays. There is a display with a size 4x1 with a round design, and there is also a rectangular square design with a size of 4x2. Then the next new feature is in the AR Emoji Camera section. Now in this latest update, you can now use the AR Emoji Camera feature for up to 3 people at the same time. In addition, there is also one new emoji in this new update. Then next, there is difference is also in the AR Doodle section. For the AR Doodle display in the latest One UI 5.1, it now looks slightly different compared to the previous settings. For the undo and redo buttons, they are now also placed directly in the settings at the bottom. And there is also a delete button that you can directly access in the new position. Next, the 18th feature is in the Smart Suggestion menu. In this new Smart Suggestion menu, if you often listen to music through the Spotify application, then in the Smart Suggestion widget section, the playlist that you often play on Spotify will appear. This new widget will automatically change when you frequently listen to songs in the Spotify application. And when you haven't heard a song for a certain period of time, sometimes this widget will also disappear. Then the next change is inside the screenshot and screen recorder settings. In this latest update, you can directly choose the storage or folder for the screenshot and screen recording. For the One UI 5.1 feature that we are discussing in this video, all of the features are available in the One UI 5.1 version for the S22 Ultra series. Later, when we have unboxed the S23 Ultra series, we will directly compare the One UI 5.1 for S22 Ultra and One UI 5.1 for S23 Ultra. You can click on the video that appears on your screen if we have uploaded the video. Hopefully useful. See you in the next video.